Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show, where we get real about the struggles dancers face, from confidence battles to self-doubt, and how dance has the power to make us braver, stronger, and more unstoppable in every area of life. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazili Fitness. And whether you're a seasoned dancer, a dance instructor, dance lover, or someone who's always wanted to dance but feels a little intimidated to start, this show is for you. Expect honest conversations, inspiring stories, and simple ways to bring more dance into your life, whether that's in the studio, on stage, or right in your living room. And if you're a dance instructor, we've got you covered with tips on how to grow your dance business, attract more students, and create a bigger impact through your passion for movement. So if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, own your movement, and dance yourself brave, let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, the founder of Brazili Fitness, and I'm so excited because I have Joanna Cavalcante here. She's a guest today, and I'm so excited to have her on because we've been chatting a lot on social media, and we have similar purposes in life, I think, which is to bring confidence through dance fitness. So Joanna is a dance fitness expert and the creator of Sweat and Swagger Fitness. She's a leader in the health and wellness industry. She has over 15 years of experience in group fitness, serving as a master trainer for multiple formats and presenting on national and international stages. In 2019, she fulfilled her dream by launching her own nationally accredited dance fitness program and traveling the country to certify instructors. Joanna is also a wife and mother of two, Jake, who's 10, and Liv, who's 7, and she enjoys traveling and family time. Thank you so much for being here, Joanna. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. Can't wait to chat.
I'm so excited you're here. Like, I have been watching you from the sidelines for a while, and I love what you're doing. I'm just so excited to dive a little bit deeper and know more about, how everything started for you. So my first question really is like, I just want to know it all. Like, how did everything start? Tell me all about yourself and how you got started with dance.
Oh my gosh. So my mom always jokes around with me that when my sister, so I have an older sister and a younger brother, was in dance school, I would like break through the doors and go dance in the middle of the room with all of them, even though I was too young. So I actually started dancing when I was 3 and always loved dance. I never really did anything like competitions or anything like that. I just loved music and movement and dance. I grew up actually as a soccer player. So I played soccer and I danced. So I would go play soccer and then I would have soccer practice and then I would go to dance class later on in the night. And I did that for years and years and years. It's funny, my senior year I wound up I was a collegiate soccer player. So I
Oh,
played
wow.
collegiate soccer. Yep. And I played semi-pro for a little bit. This is like this is like my other life that people don't know about. And my senior year of high school, I went up to my parents' room and I was like, "Hey, I'm not going to do soccer this year. I'm going to do kick line." And they were like,
What?
"Cute, go put your cleats on," which was the right decision. And I always loved my dancing, and so I went off to school and I played soccer in college, and it was amazing. But you all of a sudden, if you're an athlete and you go to school and that's like your life, you're done with school and then you're home or you're, moving on to the next thing. And it's kind of like, what do I do now? Not in terms of our jobs and stuff, but in terms of like, where did my community go? Like, what do I do? Right. And, this was back in, this is, well, do I have to say the years? Because then that's going to age me. But
Totally up to you.
this is back after I graduated and when Zumba was becoming very, very popular. And I had somebody ask me if I wanted to go take a Latin dance class at a gym. And I was like, what? Well, what is that? That sounds interesting. And they're like, yeah, it's this new class called Zumba. Well, the stars aligned and I went to take that class and I was like, yeah, I'll try anything once. And I thought, cool. I had never really done a lot of group fitness either. Like I was always either playing soccer or a dance class. And I was so hooked. First of all, the teacher was amazing. The music was amazing. I was able to move my body again. All these people around, like, why is everyone so happy? What is this? And it's like a party. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. And I'm like, I feel like I like to go dance and go to clubs and stuff in college. And that night I was like, I'm going to learn how to teach this. Like, I'm going to go become licensed and learn. And that's just the type of person I am. I'll just figure it out.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I love how you said, like,
immediately,
"I'll do anything once," right? Like, how many
I
people could
will.
learn from that, right? Because I think that we
Right.
have this block, right? Where we're just like, "Oh, like, we wanna try something new," and we just think, like, of all the negative things that could happen, but, like, what if something awesome can happen, right? And most likely, that's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna find something you love and that you're passionate about, you're gonna make friends, right? But, like, why not just think
Yeah.
best case scenario instead of worst case scenario, right?
It's so true. I can't even tell you how many times that I let fear stop me from. I always say, like, there's this just one little step out of your comfort zone. And like and I know we'll probably talk about this, but like my complete joy in life is to see people push past that and get to that point right after you did the thing that you were nervous about. That little space right there is some of the best feelings in your life, because you pushed through your fear, you accomplished it. Now you learned something new. This abundance just starts coming at you, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I decided to do that. And that's so true because if I hadn't done that, my
Mhm.
life would be completely different now. It would look
Exactly.
completely different. Yeah. And shortly after that, I got licensed to teach Zumba and just started building a huge community up. I'm from New York, on Long Island. And
Oh, I think
oh
I
my
remember
gosh,
you saying that.
yeah. I was at the Crunch gyms up there. And man, I mean, that part of my life was amazing because I also wound up, I was getting married and I was getting pregnant and starting a family. But I was still teaching
Mhm.
through all of this. And I was meeting women who were also getting married and having kids. And like, so our kids all became friends and all in that community from that one dance class
Yeah, that's
is
amazing.
literally yeah, where it all came from.
And that's
So that's kinda how I
incredible.
started with dance and yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, it kind of summarizes why this podcast is so important to me because I feel that we let fear take over in our lives so often, and we end up not living life to its fullest, right? And it's so you have kids, right? So I have a daughter, and it's so
Mhm.
interesting that when she is trying something new, she doesn't get it the first time. She'll literally just say, "Try again." And with us, like, as we get older, right, we're just like, "I didn't get it the first time, well, I must suck, and this isn't for me." And it's just like,
Yeah,
you have to
it's
keep
great.
going. No one gets it the first time, right? And that's just
I I
life.
ta I taught my daughter how to say she's 7 now, right? So she taught her how to say, "Go away, fear."
Oh, I
So
love
she'll yell it out.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love it.
and
So what about like, did you
yeah.
have any struggles that you faced along the way? Like when you started dancing, like was something that maybe pushed you outside of your comfort zone? Like I know you were an athlete already. So, I think that being an athlete in any kind of area, you build that discipline and that resilience, but maybe something that's specific to dance, like any kind of struggles that maybe you could tell us about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, growing up in dance, like I said, I didn't do a lot of like the competitive things, but everywhere you go is going to have some sort of competition and all that. So there were always those times where maybe you hope you're going to get the solo and you don't get it. I would always equate that to soccer too. It was like,
Mhm.
sometimes you get the playing time and everything works out, and sometimes you're going to sit the bench. And I think growing up through soccer, that helped me a lot because it taught me how to be a team player. And I'm not gonna lie, it stunk. I mean, when you're around that age, when you're 14, 15, 16, like you said, the fear and like all the judgments and everything is flying around you. But I as I started to get older, I started to use those struggles and kind of spin them around to like, look, you may not, like you said, you may not always win, right, on the first try, but you could still be a team player. You could still support everyone. You could, whatever season that is, you could still be the one that shows up and could be the good human and the supporter and all of that. And, I took that into when I started teaching dance fitness, which was Mariana, that was a whole new world for me. I was new and I'll say ignorance on fire, very excited, right? Like super excited and nervous and all the things. And, was hoping that I was going to find a crew of people that would mentor me and be open to all the things. And in life it happens, you may not always run into people who are willing to support you in what you're doing, or you might run into ego, or and those are all learning processes for sure. So I had a lot of struggles in the beginning of teaching dance fitness, and a lot of things I had to work through, rumors and gossip, and but it was such a huge learning experience for me that I basically had two choices, right? It was like, all right, like you're coming into this group fitness, this fitness world, right? Where I ran into a few circumstances where the people didn't want to support me, and they didn't want to lend a helping hand. And it hurt because I was like, what? Because I was so new, I was like, wow, is this really what I want to get myself into? Because in my head, I had made this grand, everybody's going to help each other, and it's dance and we love to dance. And, as long as we get to a space and move our bodies, everything's going to be amazing. So I had a choice. It was either don't do it because the fear is going to stop me, and I'm nervous and I'm going to run into people, but like, really, who cares? Or move forward and kind of like carve out my own way and decide to be that person that wants to lift people up, that wants to get into this and help and mentor and teach people that there's abundance and we can collaborate. I always say collaboration over competition. I chose the second one, which is amazing because, again, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Sweat and Swagger wouldn't be here. I needed those people. I needed those struggles to make this decision and to be where I'm at now.
Yeah, and you chose to be the difference that you want to see in the world, right? Because I've also been in the fitness industry for a long time, like 20-ish years. I also don't want to mention
You don't have to be
years,
exact numbers.
but I also started off like I did start with group fitness, but I also did personal training and I worked primarily with men. So I was like 18-year-old, like
Yeah.
female trainer, like the only one on my team. Men tend to be like more competitive, right? And with personal
Mhm.
training, especially where I worked, it was very much about sales quotas and like, oh, you have to hit your numbers and blah, blah, blah. And they were always competing with each other. Like, well, I sold this many packages of personal
Yeah.
training. And so for a long time, I thought that that's what the fitness industry was like one trying to be better than the other. And I was like, why? Like, why can't we just work together, And also, because I taught group fitness, I was the only one who did personal training and group fitness.
Mm.
And they were always bashing group fitness. Oh, group fitness isn't a
Always.
real workout, blah, blah, blah. And
Yep.
you know, why? Like,
I always
like
invite them to come take
why
a
can't
class.
we work together? Yeah, so I totally relate to that because that I think it happens in most industries, but I noticed it a lot in the fitness industry. And it's a shame because really, it's like you said, abundance mindset. Like
Mhm.
if you get rid of that scarcity mindset where you think that like every client who's interested in group fitness has to come to your class,
Yeah.
then
Don't get me started on that one.
yeah, because it's like people are going to be attracted to your classes because of who you are. Like we could have two different instructors who are both teaching Zumba, for example, and one
Yep.
will be drawn to you and another person will be drawn to the other person. And
And
that's
that's okay.
fine. That is okay. There are so many people out there who are need to get active and need to get moving. We should be
Right.
encouraging people to try other classes and different
Yes.
formats because people are super unhealthy right now, inactive, and they need help, right? So I think that, like you said, more collaboration in the fitness industry is what
Yep.
we need just to come together
Agreed.
because obviously the way that we've done things hasn't been very successful, right? Like we still
Mhm.
see a lot of people that are extremely unhealthy and don't even know where to start,
Right.
despite all this, like, technology with information overload all over the place. And people still are so lost, right?
Yeah. Mariana, do you know? I mean, the first thing I say to my instructors in our trainings is it's not about us.
Mhm.
That's the first that's the first line. And I think somewhere along the line that has gotten very lost in this industry. And the second thing I say is it's not that serious. But
Yeah.
and if you're in this industry to, stare at yourself in the mirror and wear the cute clothes, and then I think we're missing a little something here.
I agree.
So yeah, I resonate with that 100%.
So how would you say that this whole process, like, the ups and downs and being disappointed with some people who you thought were going to be your besties and maybe turned out not to be,
Yeah.
like you said, you were meant to meet those people and there was a reason for it. But how do you think this entire journey has shaped you as a person and affected maybe all like different areas of your life?
Oh my gosh. I literally don't know that person anymore. Like if I hadn't gone through all of this. So let me backtrack. So when I first started in group fitness, I was also getting into the health and wellness field. So we were actually looking to open up a studio on Long Island, my husband and I. And it actually never happened. I wound up getting pregnant shortly after that. So it's probably a bit better off. But we were looking into health and wellness and to bring in a nutrition program. So I partnered with the health and wellness company. So all of these things that came together within group fitness and then the health and wellness company, I started to learn about personal development and mindset. And had it not been for that, I didn't know what that was. So I remember I was talking to one of my mentors. Her name's Sarah Romano, and people on here probably know who she is because she's an OG and trailblazer in the group fitness industry. And she was like, all right, well, we got to get you started on your mindset and personal development. And I recommend this coach and these books. And I said, Marianne, I'm like, I'm fine. I don't like, what do you mean? I'm good. I don't, and I was coming from a sales background. So I had like, I call myself jack of all trades, master of none. I had an insurance license, I had a cosmetology license. I was doing like
Oh,
all the
wow.
things. I was searching for like the passionate stuff, and then it led me to this. That's a whole other podcast. But and I was just like, I'm good. Just like, how do
Let's
we
skip all of
grow the
that.
business? And man, the first book I ever read was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
I love that book.
Oh my gosh. So anybody who comes to take a training with me, when we do our Sweat and Swagger trainings, we do an hour long mindset part of our training. That's never even enough. Because people will say to me like, Joanna, why do you do mindset? And I'm like, how could you not? Like, it's literally, if you want to be the best instructor human that
Mhm.
you can be, you have to continuously work on yourself all the time. And I love that book. So anyone that comes close contact to me, I'm like throwing that book at them. Just start here. Just read this book. And that journey of personal development, and to be able to have had that like very like growth mindset, changed everything for me. I don't know that I would have went so far as far as I have in the health and wellness and group fitness industry had I not had that like rock hard like belief and mindset, and it would have never came around if it wasn't for this. So I think that's really important for us in the fitness industry to shed a light on, because again, it's not about us, but if we're not, there's no there, like if we're not working on us, how are we going to help anybody else, you know?
Yeah,
So
and also I think that it's important to share that story, right, with other people because sometimes people come to classes and they see, the instructor up on the stage and they look like they have their shit together,
yeah.
like they make it look so easy.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just think that like, oh, it's easy for them, it's hard for me, and it is what it is. And then no, but when you open up and share a story like this, and be like, okay, so she has some struggles too. Okay, she can do it. I can
All the
do it.
time, like literally every second of every day. See, I call teaching group fitness, I call it managing awkward. I tell my instructors all the time, like, we're constantly managing awkward, right? And
Mhm.
it's not that it gets easier, you just get better at it, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I still teach classes and mess up, and I'll just, instead of like trying to cover it up, I turn around and I go, Rebus. It's just not that serious,
Yeah.
like it's really not. So you're right, 100% agree. The more we can open up and show, our struggles and failures and all that, the more people will understand that it's really just about showing up. Like we'll say like that's the hardest part is showing up, but it really is, because
It
your
is.
brain is gonna like, it's gonna be like block, block, it's gonna block you up until you like literally the music starts, right? Or maybe even halfway through the class, you're still like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And that's your brain's job. Your brain's job is literally to keep you safe, right? So if it senses anything that's outside of your norm, it's gonna be like, red alert,
red
don't do
flag.
this. Well, yeah, even though like what you've been doing up until this point, like yes, it's safe, but it's not necessarily bringing happiness and joy to your life, and
Right.
you need to change. And then the moment you decide, like, okay, this is it, I'm gonna do it, like I tell people, like, expect that resistance from your brain because it's going to
Yeah.
happen. So, like, prepare to fight back and be like, I listen to you, like, I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna, do it anyway, right? Just
Yeah.
recognize the voice and keep doing it anyway.
It's so true. And I think that's why too, it's so important in group fitness to find your community and tribe, right? And like you said, people are going to be drawn to who they're drawn to, and that's great. Like
Yeah.
why number one, why would we force the fact? Why would we
Mhm,
want someone both ways? Why would you want to be in
mhm,
my class and why would I want you, right? Like, so don't
yeah,
force that fact, number one, but also
mhm,
find the community that gives you that safe space, right? So that's one of my biggest things with Sweat and Swagger too, is like find that safe, inclusive
mhm,
community so that you can kind of break down those barriers, because yes, your brain is going to put you in fight or flight, but if you can get into that one spot where you're like, oh, okay, like I
yeah,
can kind of like shake it out and feel all right, that's
mhm,
important. And it's important on us as group
mhm,
fitness instructors as well to be
mhm.
that person.
Mhm.
for them. But it's scary, by the way. It's scary for us too.
It is scary, yeah, and if you're feeling like it's scary, that's normal,
That's
for
normal.
everybody. So you're not like strange or anything. That it's just you're just human, right?
Yeah, we're still like, "Oh my god, do they like the class? Why are they walking out? What do they like
Mhm.
my mute?" We're going through all of that. We're just showing up through it. I always joke around if someone's leaving the class, like, you really just don't know. Like, maybe they had to pick
You
their
have
kid
no
up.
idea what's going on
Hey,
in their
they had to go
lives.
to the bathroom, whatever. But our brain's gonna be like, "Oh my god, they hate it." And 9 times
Mhm.
out of 10, they just have something going. Everybody has stuff going on. It's not
Yeah,
about you. It's okay, you know? So,
exactly. I love that.
yeah.
All right, Joanna. So I know that you shared that you were a soccer player, and maybe, people have taken your class. I'd be surprised to hear about that. But maybe there's something else that you can share that would maybe surprise people.
Yeah. So number one, I'm a recovering people pleaser, and it's something that I'm always working on. But I used to have resting bitch face all the time, like literally.
I, yeah, like I cannot picture that at all.
Right.
You're just
There
so
was like,
smiley. Like,
and so like yeah, so everybody on YouTube, you have to go to YouTube to check out my wrinkles, but like the smile lines and I mean, they are literally like it's because I'm so passionate. I love it. Like you probably know the
Mhm.
feeling. I'm not even in my body when I'm
Yes.
teaching. I call it like a moving meditation, but
Yes.
yeah, I used to like, oh my, I can't even do it anymore. I can't even make the face anymore. But, and that's just going back to there was no mindset, there was no personal development yet. I was very closed off. And that was like a defense mechanism for me. Like just, and I am a kind and like, I'm an outgoing person, but before I started any of this, it was just really not confident. That was just like the facade, right? Like not confident and not. So a lot of people are always very surprised to hear that because they're like, "Oh my god, like literally you talk to everyone." And I can equate that to personal development, but also being in a community and around people that I truly love and that I'm passionate about. So yeah, the resting bitch face, that I got rid of that a long time ago, but maybe I'll bring it back. I'll work on it.
So, as a group fitness instructor, I'm sure that, well, for me, one of my favorite things about what I do is listening to success stories. Like people just come in and share, like, you know what, because of your class, I've been able to, conquer this fear or chase that dream. So, I'm sure you have a ton of success stories because you've been teaching for quite a while. But maybe let's choose one that stands out to you the most, maybe a more recent one that you can show to inspire people to, chase those successes as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love hearing back from my sweat and swagger instructors. But there's one, and it might not be the most recent, but it's one that I tell over and over again, and I actually tell it in my trainings. I have a friend for a very long time who her name's Michelle. Her name's Michelle Caceres. You could look her up on Instagram or YouTube. Yeah, she's on YouTube because she's absolutely amazing. But she was my student, and when I first started, back in that day of thinking everybody was going to support and work together, she was there for me. And I was teaching on a very new class. I was a very new instructor. And it was a big class, like one of those, like with the lights, and there was like 70 people in there. Like, no, I wasn't nervous at all, but was able. No, no, no.
Just a typical
Yeah,
day.
just a typical day in the office, and nothing ever went wrong. But and she was one of my students, and I say that because it was a full class, and she would hide, and she would hide towards the back, and she would wear big bulky clothes, and but the universe always, if you listen to it, and if you listen to your gut, it'll find its way. And my eye would always go to her, and I would, as an instructor, there's you pick people and you pull them up, and you want to give them their time to shine and support. And Michelle became one of those people, and at first it was like pulling teeth to get her to come up there, and then it got easier and easier, right? And like Michelle was one of those people that was helping me probably more than she thought I was helping her. Right? She was that one, like, because as the instructor, you're always showing up for everybody else, right? And maybe they don't know, like the house could be burning down behind us, and we walk in the classroom, like, because that's our job and that's what we do.
Mhm.
And I was going through a few things. I became pregnant. I was teaching through that. I was looking to open up the studio. I had branched out and was doing my own classes and just kind of like renting out a space, and which is a lot, when you're a new instructor, because when you teach, you could go into a gym and get paid a flat amount of money, and that's amazing, and that helps you build community, and I love that. But at the same time, I was always very entrepreneurial and wanted to go out on my own and work it that way. And sometimes it would just be me and Michelle in class, right? And Michelle would be the only one to show up, and she'd put her kid on the iPad in the corner, but she would just be like, Joe, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. At one point, my thing is gentle nudge. So I gentle nudged Michelle to go get her license to teach. And she's like, okay, fine, but I'm not, how many times you hear this? Okay, fine, but I'm never going to teach. Right. And, so she did, and come to my class, and she would teach songs. And then I needed a sub. And I said, Michelle, you're going to sub for me tomorrow. And she's like, what? No, I'm not. No, I don't even have a, nope, you're good. You have my playlist. You know all the songs. And she knew. She was just like, okay, I know you're not going to let me not do this. And she subbed. And of course, it was amazing. And long story short, Michelle is literally, in my opinion, one of the best instructors like in the country now. If you look her up, first of all, the girl was born to dance. She didn't grow up dancing. She absolutely loves it. It flows through her veins. She's got so much swag. She's a mom, and I have, of course, a special place in my heart for us mommies with swag, who show up as unapologetically ourselves, right? Who out of the box and not what society might think we need to be, right? I'm a 44-year-old mom with swag. I don't care. Come at me. But Michelle is... she's one of my master trainers for Sweat and Swagger. And she started off as that girl just hiding in the back. And I look at her and just like me, her life would be very different right now had she not, shown up to that class. And so would mine, so that.
Yeah. And think of that ripple effect too, right? Like how many lives is she now impacting because she decided to show up for herself, right? It's amazing that's what it's all about, right? Like this is always a part of the show where I get emotional and I get chills because
that's literally
it's so easy to get, so in the like day to day of teaching and planning your classes and doing the marketing, doing the admin, all this stuff. And like you said, sometimes we have to go teach and we're not having a great day. Or, I can't even tell you how many times I had to go teach a class burning up in a fever because it was like the policy for the gym that, if I didn't get a sub in time, the class had to happen. So, and a lot of people don't realize that, right? And we're human beings too, right? So we have days where we just don't feel like teaching. But always on those days where I'm just like, oh, I wish I could just like chill tonight and not teach, like those are the days that I need it most, right? Because by the end of the class, I'm like, oh, like I just forgot like why I was in a bad mood in the first place, right?
Yeah, it's like it's okay, we're allowed to be there. Like I always say to myself, I get to. And sometimes I'm literally saying that like all the way up to before the class starts. I'm like, I get you because it's not easy all the time. But yeah, it's exactly what we need at that moment. And then we come out, we're like, oh, so grateful.
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure too, right? Because we know that maybe, the people who are coming to that class, like maybe they've been looking forward to it all week, and they've had a really crappy week themselves. And like this is that moment where just like they want to throw it all away. So you need to be on your A game, right? Even like if it's not your best day. But I think that's what makes us resilient and like it reconnects us to our purpose too, right? Because like you said, it's not about you. It's about them.
That's what makes this whole, I think specifically group fitness and dance fitness is what is why I'm always gentle nudging people to just take the class. If you don't like it, that's fine. But just show up and take the class and try it. You can be like, Joanna, hell no, it's not for me. But just try it because we know how many lives it has changed. And sometimes it sounds a little like crazy. Like people are like, why are you guys like always so crazy about going to these classes and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, there must be something to it then. Yeah. So try it yourself, right? Exactly. Even if you are a little nervous, like,
right. And then you tell me.
Yeah. Just show up. That's all.
Yes, exactly. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And what would you say is like the real impact that you're looking to make in the world? I know that you're on a mission to bring more sweat and swagger to everyone's lives.
Yeah.
But how would you define like exactly what do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah. So, oh gosh, this could give me like goosebumps, but, my legacy number one would be to empower more moms and women to know that they can do more of what they're passionate about. That's okay. Right. You could be unapologetically you, whatever that feels like. And for me, when I'm most me, I'm like in a hat with hoops and like dancing to hip hop, you know. But I want to create a safe space for more women to feel comfortable enough to step into whoever that is and for them to
Mhm.
be supported for it. Yeah, so that's why we decided to name ourselves the Hype Crew because again, it's not about us and this is what I teach my instructors. We want to be able to support everybody in that room. When I first started Sweat and Swagger, I actually didn't want to start it. That's another a whole other story. I was
Oh,
very
well,
happy
we'll
with
have to book another interview to talk
I
about
know.
that.
It's crazy. It was born on this dance fitness cruise. And it's actually that we'll talk about that later. It's coming up. But so I thought, okay, fine, we'll do Sweat and Swagger and we could do master classes. And then the pandemic hit. And through that, I kind of realized I had like an epiphany that the message that we were trying to get out was so important that I couldn't do it myself. I couldn't do it myself just traveling around doing master classes. I could hit a broader audience if I was able to train people and get them certified in what Sweat and Swagger is. So Sweat and Swagger is not just it's a great it's an amazing dance fitness class. It's really
Mhm,
fun.
mhm,
But the driving force behind Sweat and Swagger is collaboration over competition, abundance, and celebrating people for their unique swag. So creating that safe space and inclusivity. So that's my mission to be able to like build a community and that's not based on gossip and judgment and all that low vibe crap. And and I'm trying not to curse. I
Oh,
get very
it's okay.
passionate. Yeah,
Whatever.
and to know that, like, just life is so much better when you surround yourself with women who understand that we don't have to, like, compete, that we can actually work in abundance and collaboration and lift each other up and support each other. And people are like, "This is so crazy. It's just a class. It's just a dance fitness class." I'm like, "No, honey, it's not. It's so much more than that, you know?" And I think that's why we're growing so quickly because we're really attracting those people. People are craving, especially now, are craving community, but they're craving real. They're craving community that's not based in ego, where they can really be themselves and not feel like they're being judged for it. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I really just want to create that space for people and know that that's your dance fitness class doesn't have to feel judgy or weird or anything like that. So
Yes, and that's so inspiring. Like, as you know, we have a dance fitness brand as well,
mhm,
but we're, quite a few steps behind you, right? We do have some instructors who are getting certified, but it's so inspiring to see, the mission that you have and how deep it goes because, I had the same thought process. I'm like, what I want to bring to the world, it's not about me. And if I try to do it by myself, I'm not going to reach the amount of
yeah,
people that I want to reach. So that's why I had the same thought process as you. I'm like, like
yeah,
I need to find my tribe of people who are willing to get out there and bring this to the world. So
yeah.
we're so much stronger together, right? Like when we find our tribe, and the best way I think to find your tribe is to just be yourself, like you said,
To
right? Like be
be your
real.
exactly. To be
Exactly,
it.
because then the
Yeah.
right people get attracted to you, right? And if you're being fake and, like today in a world of AI, if all you're doing is
Mhm.
using like AI generated content and like then you're going to attract people who aren't really your people, and then that's going to create more problems down the road too. So like just show up, be yourself.
Amen, sister.
Yes.
Yep. I 1000% agree with that. And it's just so much more freeing when you
Mhm.
can step into that and really become who you are and be unapologetically that person. Because I always say don't block the flow.
Yes.
When you're blocking the flow. And when you kind of like move out of that, it's like, wow, all these things are showing up. And you're like,
Yes.
oh, okay. You know, and it does, and it takes practice. But oh my gosh, it's so freeing to know that not everybody needs to like you,
Mhm.
and not everybody are your people. You could love them where they're at, but
Mhm.
focus on who you are, right, and who the tribe of people are around you. So
Yes, definitely. So, what do you think that the world needs more of nowadays? Like, it's been crazy few years since the
yeah.
pandemic, like if you can pinpoint like one or two things that, if we could just have more of these things in the world, we'd be in a better place. Like, what do you think?
Love and community, I
Love
think
it.
are two of my biggest things. Just more love and compassion, and not leading from ego. understanding, that we all have shit going on,
Mhm.
right? And that people are really craving community. I actually just did a post before that was just kind of talking to the people who are like deep rooted in love and coming from a place of servant and being that person that's not coming from ego and really wants to help, right? Like you're that's our mission to go out there and empower people, and you're not coming from the space of ego and flash and likes and like you know trying to trample on people to get to the top. And for people like us, I do feel like it can get a little lonely for us, believe it
Yes,
or not,
definitely.
sometimes,
Mhm.
because sometimes you see those people and they're like, jet setting to the top, and you're like, I call BS.
Yeah.
I'm calling BS on this because
Mhm.
we've worked on ourselves. So I just feel like more of that and more of support for that person that's like, keep going. I know it can feel lonely sometimes. I know it can feel lonely when you want something so bad for someone and they turn around, they hurt you, or you're
Mhm.
coming from that space of realness and love and heart, and you get hurt, right? And you're kind of like, wow, that's not where I was coming from, not where I was expecting.
Yeah.
So just banding together in that community, but staying connected. It's really easy for us to retract because we get hurt, and our intentions are really pure.
Yeah.
So just making sure that we're all working together and supporting each other towards that same goal, and having like that rock hard foundation of like, nope, like, we're here, this is our mission, and we're gonna keep moving forward with it. So
Yes, exactly. And it's more love. Like more love, I think, is the
yeah,
secret and, compassion.
less
We all
judgment.
need all of that good stuff. So, what advice would you give to someone who's, just starting to dance or they're curious about dance, people who have more of that fear and those blocks? Like, what would you tell them? Like, some advice just to get them dancing.
Yeah, I would say just get in the room. Number one, just get in that room. Find well, you're not gonna find the tribe if you don't get in the room first. If you have that little like I like whatever you want to call it, like a God wink or a universe nudge, or like that little like feeling, a little goosebump, just those little. If you have that, and then tune into it and go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and make the decision and go, and
Mhm.
get yourself in that situation. So then, right then you can make the decision, but you have to get in the room, and your gut, your intuition, it's telling you. So stop ignoring it. I go like this. Sometimes I get goosebumps, or I get a little thing in my belly, or whatever
Mhm.
you want to call it. That's your gut telling you to do it. So, and that it
Yes.
can literally be the hardest part. And maybe you get. So I always tell people in Sweat and Swagger class. I tell them, well, I tell them the door's locked, so you can't get out. I'm just joking around, but like just the lift, like, and if you do leave, you have to twerk your way out the door. Like it's not that serious at all,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
But like at least get in the room so you could feel the energy and make your own decision from there. But don't ignore those little God winks.
I love it. I'm gonna start using that God winks. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're there. They're everywhere.
They are.
They're everywhere.
It's so now I'm sure everyone is like curious to know how they can get in touch with you, find out more about Sweat and Swagger. Just give us all the details. How can people reach out and find out more?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So, like I said, I'm originally from New York. So we have a bunch of instructors on Long Island in the Queens area. And I live in Florida now. So we also have a good handful of instructors down here. And Florida is where I teach. So Palm Beach Gardens, kind of like the Jupiter area, West Palm Beach. That's where I am based out of. And then Port St. Lucie, and even as far down as Fort Lauderdale. And then we have instructors scattered throughout the whole country. So we've got Texas, California. I'm going to Alabama in May, and we are setting up trainings and master classes. So if you're someone looking to host, definitely get in touch with me because we could set something up. If you want to follow, you could follow on Instagram. It's Sweat Swagger Fitness, and then my nice and short and Irish name at Joanna, which I'm sure you'll put up the links.
Yes.
And
Yeah. All the
yeah,
links will be down below.
yeah. And 44-year-old here, so I'm on Facebook. That's where everything started on. Sometimes when I have younger kids in class, they're like, "What?" So we are on Facebook. We're constantly setting up, trainings and master classes, and there'll be some in New York, and
Mhm.
then probably the biggest thing that we are working towards now is the Karma Vacations Dance Fitness Cruise. So
Awesome.
this is where Sweat and Swagger was born. Actually, that's what I was saying this before. I was asked years back to be a guest instructor with my mentor Tara Romano, which was like that. I could have been like died right there. That was it. I'm good. And it was so
Dreams
amazing. Yeah, I'm like,
accomplished,
I'm good.
right?
Goals tick. And so we were, of course, we were at dinner. You know, we had the class. It was amazing. We were at dinner that night. They're like, Joe, you need to start your own program. And I'm like, I do not. I'm good. And a few tequilas later, like, what will we call it? And my friend was like, Sweat and Swagger. And I was like, that is actually a really cool name. And it was born organically, like from there. And it looks completely different now. But I was asked to come back the next year and present it on this dance fitness cruise. So I've now presented it on. So Karma, thank you. I love you if you're watching this. Just one of those people that was a game changer, in my career. So this is the 10th and final year that she's doing it. So it's the finale, and it's happening in January of 2026. We've got time, but they're actually starting to already sell out rooms. And Mariana, you're going to love this. So Karma says, mind your own fitness. And what she does is she puts together a whole big cruise with all different types of fitness formats. So you have anywhere from Zumba to Sweat and Swagger to Commit to just all these different master presenters that come together as this community on it's a Royal Caribbean cruise, like this huge ship, Allure of the Seas, and we just bring the community together. And it's this like big ball of supportive amazingness.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, and last year we had a lot of the hype crew, a lot of instructors from Sweat and Swagger were there.
Oh,
And
nice.
the feedback was really cool because our mission again is to be that supportive community. And everybody was like, man, those Sweat and Swagger girls are everywhere. We were at every class and just making sure we were supporting everyone. And yeah, it's that experience. If you can get on that ship it's something you'll never forget. It really is. It's like what we do on steroids, within like a
Yeah,
week. Yeah, it's
amazing.
really amazing. So that's happening in January of 2026.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna see if I can be there.
Yeah, you can come.
If you're watching this, try to meet us there. Let's
Yeah,
make
it would be
it even
amazing.
more of a
Elite's from
party.
Florida, so
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I was just telling you before the call how much snow we've had here in
Yeah,
Canada.
we gotta get
So
you out of the
next
cold.
January, I'm going to be wanting to run away from the snow for sure. So this is a great
And I'm always
excuse.
like, come to Florida. I know the
Well,
feeling.
thank you so much for being here and like
Thank
sharing
you.
all, I think you're doing amazing things in the world and
Thank you.
things that we need more of. So you're so inspiring. I'm following in your footsteps and trying to learn and just like kind of like soak in all those good vibes because I think that what you're doing is amazing. And yeah, like it's just I just love this chat and I'm so
Girl, you're
grateful that
doing
you
it.
were willing to come chat with me
You're
and
doing it, Mariana. Yeah,
love.
yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Well,
much.
thank you so much for coming on and thank you for everyone listening. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel, leave a review because that's the best way for other people to find the show and so that we can continue to share this dance love across the globe. So thank you again for tuning in and we'll chat next time.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Yourself Brave show. If today's episode got you hyped, inspired, or just made you want to bust a move, do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear today's message. Sharing is caring after all. And hey, don't forget, your courage is already in you. Sometimes you just gotta dance it out to feel it. Catch you next time. Keep shining and keep dancing yourself brave.